What's up guys, Zeenigami here, and let's go through the Adventure Mode or Treasure Map Cavendish on the Japanese version of One Piece Treasure Cruise. Yes, Adventure Mode. Remember that certain characters will have their points boosted, and they will glow yellow whenever you select your teams. I'm going to be using teams that are using a lot of characters that are point boosted. There are lots and lots of different teams you can use to beat these islands. If you are a lower player, there are 3 tiers that you could be in. I'm in the New World tier, which is the highest tier. You could be in the Grand Line tier, which is the middle tier, or you could be in the East Blue tier, which is the lowest tier. You'll know which tier you're in based off of the color of your sunny here. If you're in the top percentage of each tier, then you'll move up. If you're a top percentage of like East Blue or Grand Line, then you'll move up. You'll see a little arrow that says up. If you're going to drop a tier, then you'll see a little arrow that says down. That basically doesn't matter until after this Cavendish is over and we move on to the next adventure mode. And that's based on what position you're in. That's the position you're in based off of all the other players right now. So I'm going to be using teams with lots of glowy characters. This is not my team. This is my farming team. I'm using this team with a law captain because it's pretty easy to get through all the mini bosses before we get to these the final stretch here. Remember that whenever you use characters on the final stretch, you're only allowed to use them one time. So, for example, any characters I use on this team, I cannot use on another team. So, like, I can't use my Raizo on a Free Spirit team, or I can't use my Kizaru on a fighter team. And this is based off of the actual characters. So, like, I could use Neo Kizaru and Raid Boss Kizaru on 2 different teams, or I can have an evolved Zephyr and an unevolved Zephyr on 2 different teams, and that's totally fine. But here, we're going to be fighting against Law. We're going to be using a shooter team. There's no reason in particular for a lot of these choices that I'm making. It just happens to be what I choose. The reason I'm using the shooter team versus Law is because the shooter team has Raizo, and Raizo is like one of the few quick boosted characters that I have access to on this adventure mode or treasure map. So since we have the Raizo, I want Raizo as a captain or Kizaru as a captain. I'm choosing to use Kizaru as a captain because Law is going to preemptively swap our captain with one random middle row character. So Zephyr in the middle row is really important. Raizo in the middle row is really important because those are both shooter captains. They both boost shooters by 2.5 times. Whereas Kizaru only boosts your attack by 2.25, but also boosts your health. So we have a little more health here and a little extra attack on the fodder stages. Whenever we get to the boss, he'll swap us, and then we can use our higher attack for those to actually fight him. I'm not using any orb manipulation on this team, except for Raizo, who does make tandem and recovery orbs into matching orbs. So whenever we get into and out of stage 4, I'm going to be looking for quick or matching orbs on my Raizos especially, and tandem and recovery orbs on any other shooters that I might have. Now, for Adventure Mode, there is something new this time on Adventure Mode that we haven't really seen the full effects of because this is just the first few hours and people haven't beaten it enough times for us to really see how it plays out. But the cost of movement is now higher or lower depending on how many runs you've done. So this is still my first run. Stats will be going up later on. So like how much damage I take, how much health enemies have, that will all be going up and up and up every single time you beat it. Remember, if you lose, that level will drop. And the stamina per movement is going to go up, supposedly, after enough runs. So like right now, it cost me actually 6 stamina per movement instead of the usual 5 stamina per movement that we've been used to. So it's 6 stamina per movement. And it also is supposed to be going up after you beat the adventure mode enough times. And there is a small and barely worth mentioning bug right now where on the other versions, that is the Magellan and the Arlong fights, the ones you have to beat first before you're able to get here, it actually says that they drop Mihawk and Whitebeard books, but they actually drop Cavendish books. That's just a bug that they'll probably fix at some point, maybe even before this video goes up. So there's the preemptive swap. This first time we're fighting him, he has only 500,000 hit points. Remember that if you beat him as a mini-boss stage, his health will be lower and he'll be on his knees, which makes him very, very easy to beat. So here we're going to be using our Zephyr. I don't have any orbs, so we're using our Kizaru to increase our chain. Nothing else really to do. I can see if I get better orbs next turn. And we'll burst him down. Whenever he dies, we'll still kill him here. He has no health. I don't kill him here. Whatever. Not even worth using specials. He dies, he will revive to 30% of his health, and he'll lower your attack by 99% for 2 turns. You can use damage reducers here. If you have specials that deal a lot of damage, you can try to kill him. I'm going to use Usopp here to take less damage. But you can also use damage reducing specials like Perona or Giola. Perona and Giola down here will do great to reduce damage from hits. He's not too dangerous. He doesn't increase his attack or anything. After that damage reduction goes away, I should have probably looked for better orbs. But I'll just use that special for funzos. And another special for funzos. Thanks, Raizo. And then we kill him. Good, good. Oh, hey, look. Crystal. What do we get? What do we get? Something good? Did I get a crystal ball? Give me a crystal ball. Please, crystal ball. Don't be a potion. Not potion, not potion. Yeah, nice. Alright, so next we have Bonney. Bonney is Sai. She's going to have a bunch of units around here with great hit barriers. And my Bonney's actually going to be at low health, which is going to make this run very easy. The team I'm using for Bonney is totally overkill. Also, just a little tip, I like to put my teams in order. So this is going to be the one I use versus Law. This is the one versus Bonney. This is the one versus Tashigi. You can fight them in any order. So you could do Law, then Sabo, then Tashigi, then Bonney. Or you could start with Sabo, whatever order you want to do things in. I just like going in order and having my team set up in orders. That way I already know what I'm doing. It makes it a little bit easier. This Adventure Mode Whitebeard is going to be very nice. Hodies are also very nice because all Hody and Adventure Mode Whitebeard all pierce, which means that their specials will go through the great hit barriers on the fodder units. Although, since I do have Bonney Despaired, which means I did beat her on the mini-boss stages, then I'll be able to just use Whitebeard special and kill him. I also forgot that I have cooldown reduction on right now, so I can get through these guides much quicker. I don't need to stall that much, which is also helpful for Hody, because Hody is a nice, fast team. But Hody's boosted, all these characters are boosted. If you don't have enough characters to make a fully point boosting team, like I do, like this team is not fully point boosting, I would recommend using characters that have limit breaks available to them, because they do get proficiency just for being used. Those are the little bars that go up at the end of a run. So you'll see, I'll point it out when we get to the end of the run, that your proficiency will go up on characters that have limit breaks available to them, that aren't maxed out, obviously. So we get to Juri Bonney. She's at low health. Juri Bonney will give us all recovery orbs. She will heal for 200,000 at the end of each turn, and she will also prevent debuffs to herself. On her attack, she'll get a great hit barrier for 1 turn, and she's dead. Whenever you get her below 20%, she will heal back to full, she'll enrage, she'll boost her attack, and she'll bind 4 characters for 10 turns. So do not get her below 20%. Whatever you do, don't get her below 20%. Avoid that 20%, you're fine. If you have to use a regular team, just attack the units around Juri Bonney, then finish her off. That right there is a proficiency leveling up. And those are the extra points that we get. Thank you. Next we have Tashigi. Tashigi is going to have a revive and will silence on the revive. I'm using a double Akainu team versus Tashigi. Akainu have limit breaks available, so I'll level up Akainu's limit breaks. And the rest of the characters are basically just a bunch of random characters. Like this Akainu team is actually basically just a bunch of leftover units. This is the team that I put the least thought into. So pretty easy team. You can basically use any characters here against this one. Just be ready for that silence and revive. I will recommend using a Sabo. Regular Sabo and Neo Sabo both have their points boosted. So using a Sabo against Bonney is going to be nice, because whenever Bonney revives, she's going to heal up to half health and also silence your character. So what I'll be doing is I'll be using a Kainu special to boost my damage, Aokiji special after that to lock my orbs, so that way I can keep it for after the revive, Sabo special so that we can use Sabo special before and after revive, and if you replace Bellamy or Hawkins with some kind of 2-turn orb booster, that will also make things a lot easier for you. I don't think I mentioned it again this time, but I will mention it again, that if you are on one of the lower tiers, like the East Blue tier especially, if you're on East Blue, which means you have the bronze Sunny in the upper left-hand corner, these islands, where Adventure Mode is so easy, it's actually easier than 30 stamina Fortnite islands. Just use whatever teams you can make with whatever characters that are glowing that you can, and you basically don't have to worry about it. They have such low health. They have like a few 100,000 health, if anything, that it's actually easier than doing a 30 stamina Fortnite oftentimes. So no worries. Farm it easily. And just use whatever glowing characters you have. If you have the luxury of choosing what tier you're in, the Grand Line tier is actually like probably the nicest one to just AFK in, because with the Grand Line tier, it's easy enough that you don't have to try too hard even after beating the island a bunch of times, but it's still gonna give you some decent rewards. Whereas with the New World tier, the Gold tier, after you beat them a few times, it does start getting pretty difficult and annoying to do. She also preemptively despairs for 2 turns, so make sure you have anti-despair, and she'll limit your chain to 1.1 times. So I'm going to be using Aokiji to lock my orbs, I'm going to be using Sabo to boost my damage next turn, and Akainu will actually kill them this time around. But, you know, if Akainu didn't kill them, then I would attack here. She has about 600,000 health this first time around. And she's dead. Piece of cake. Whenever she attacks, she will enrage, boosting attack. So Tashigi also enrages if she survives that first turn. She will attack for about 5,500 this first time around. Of course, remember that goes up every time you beat the island. Last one we're going to be fighting is Sabo. Sabo is purple. We're going to be using this Law team with a bunch of Free Spirit and Slasher characters. Ryuji's Free Spirit, Free Spirit, Free Spirit, Free Spirit. Oh! Yes, so this time around, the point score actually goes up to 2 million. You only need to get to 1 million points in order to get your Cavendish fully limit broken. So at 1 million points, that's where the end of Cavendish limit break rewards are. If you're on the lower 2 tiers, I guess you just don't get additional rewards for getting higher points besides what position you're in at the end of everything. But for the New World tier, it does go all the way up to 2 million points now. So we'll get additional stuff like additional crystals, additional proficiency potions, additional turtles and stuff like that, all the way up to 2 million points. Now, is it worth grinding all the way up to 2 million points? Maybe if you have a bunch of the boosted characters like Robin and Gladius and Fujitora and Rayleigh. But if you don't have teams that are giving you like tons and tons of points, golly, I don't know if farming all the way up to 2 million points is worth it. It's just going to give you... Oh yeah, the 2 million point reward, the actual final 2 million point reward is a skill up turkey, which if you're farming for 2 million points, you really don't need the skill up turkey. The skill up turkey is worth so much less than farming a Fortnite island for 1 skill book. I highly doubt anybody getting 2 million points in the New World tier needs that turkey. But it's there for you if you want it. If you want to get all the way up to 2 million points. If I remember, I will scroll through the rewards so I can show you guys the rewards between 1 million and 2 million for people who aren't there and want to see what they are. So with this team, most of the characters don't matter. I'm not using half of these specials. The Sabo special and the Law special really is all we need right now. Later on, I might need to change my team, but right now, Sabo and Law is all we need. We get into Sabo. Sabo is going to have about 1,000,000 hit points. He's going to get counter stance, and he's going to lock our chain to actually 3 times. So it's actually going to be a nice chain lock and make perfects easier to hit because he wants you to hurt him. And don't worry, Sabo, I can oblige. He's also going to give you all red and green orbs. So if you want to bring an orb manipulator, bring someone who can make red and green orbs count as matching orbs, or manipulate your red or green orbs over into matching orbs. Right now, Sabo special and hitting a bunch of perfects is basically all I need in order to beat him. Might as well use specials. I got it. You got it. Use it. Whenever he attacks, he will attack you for 10% of how much damage you deal to him. And that's basically it. He just basically also deals 10% of your damage back. So burst him down in a single turn. And you're good. Emergency alerts. And the final fight, of course, is versus Cabbage Dish. Cabbage Dish. Come on. Okay. So Cavendish is Psy. His stage 4 is going to have a barrier, and his stage 5 is going to have a interrupt where if you boost your attack, he will clear your buff. So don't use any attack boosting buffs against Cavendish. We are basically going to only be using the affinity boost from our Kainu here. The rest of the characters don't really matter yet, at least just for this early because he has such low health. Later on, I will be having to change up my teams. We'll have to see what I change my teams up to later on, but until I need to, not too difficult. What you do want to bring is you want to bring a paralysis remover, or you want to be able to take a few hits from him because he is going to paralyze your entire team and give you all bomb orbs for 2 turns. Or he's going to paralyze you for 2 turns and give you all bomb orbs. On this stage 1, make sure you don't get the Lopins below 50%. Don't let the lizards attack you because they will poison you. They poison you for about 1,500. It's not the most dangerous thing in the world. Take out the girls. You don't want to get despaired. These guys are the ones that give you badly matching orbs, I believe. Again, nothing too much to worry about yet. The Cavendish on stage 4 is going to get a 50,000 damage barrier for 2 turns, which means you're probably not going to kill him until turn 3. The big things are the girls behind him, who will also be doing stuff, attacking you, since they're also with him on turn, or on stage 3, no, stage 4, sorry. Talking's difficult and hard. Alright, Cavendish. Prevents debuffs, prevents delay, gets that 50,000 damage threshold. We are just going to kill the 2 girls behind him. 2 girls are also affected by the 50,000 damage. And just push him. I don't believe he does anything based off his health, or at least I haven't actually been able to leave him, or I haven't actually left him alive like below 20% or anything. But he definitely doesn't do anything below 50%. And then just kill him on turn 3. Our orbs don't matter, once again, because we will get all of our orbs turned into bomb orbs. Boom, all bomb orbs. This is why I'm bringing Rayleigh. Rayleigh will get rid of those bomb orbs and delay. I'll just use 1 Int Mihawk to kill the 2 girls in the back to make it easy. Affinity boost here. And 1 more matching orb. Don't use your Apu if you're bringing Apu like I am. I'm really just bringing Apu because he is another slasher and there aren't too many slashers that are boosted. Later on, if his health gets higher, I'll attack him on turn 1. And then on turn 2, I'll use both my Int Mihawks to finish him off. Every other turn, he's going to cut your health by 15%. He's going to also bind people for he's going to bind 1 random person for 2 turns. But if you can delay him like that, and you can use anybody to delay him. If you can delay him, then you can just attack him and then burst him the next turn. So this team, I got a ways to go before I need to swap up this team, since I'll be able to use Int Mihawk as long as I can do like half of his health. Actually, I only need to do about 40% of his health, and I can use double Int Mihawk Specialist to finish him on turn 2. Oh, we still have time for double points. I thought our double points ran out. Oops. So that's not the rewards. These are the rewards. So you'll see this is all the way up to the 1 million point tier. 1 million point tier, you get the last of all the Cavendish requirements. And after that, you start getting stuff like crystals, proficiency crystals, blah, 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 guidance stones. Guidance stones all the way up until 1 turkey. And you can click on that little button to expand to see everything you get. It's just basically a whole bunch of guidance stones. I thought you got some other stuff besides guidance stones. I guess you only get guidance stones after that. Yep, it's just guidance stones all the way down. Anyways, guys, that's Cavendish. I've been Zeenigami. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck. Get those runs in. Y'all stay beautiful.